dear Rotarians, dear Rotaractors, dear leaders of inter-country committees from different countries. This is not the format we are planning in organizing and host committee of the ICC International Conference in April this year. It was planned to be in Kyiv, in capital of Ukraine, in person, offline. But preparation and then realized aggression from side of Russia and this wide-scale war created a humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and neighboring countries. And expecting this, we were forced to change the format of our conference. But still, I am happy that at least in online format, the ICC International Conference is starting now as it was planned on April the 2nd, 2022. So I'm really honored to declare the ICC International Conference Dreaming Peace Together open. Thank you.
Greetings, Rotary and Rotaract friends. My name is Cyril Noirtin, and I serve as the chairman of the Rotary Intercountry Committee Executive Council. Welcome to the virtual conference of Rotary ICC. For 70 years, the Rotary Intercountry Committees have helped Rotarians and Rotaractors to create bridge of friendship, foster peace, and facilitate cooperation between different cultures and improve understanding among nations. Consistent with the RY strategic plan, ICCs provide significant support to all programs of Rotary International and of the Rotary Foundation by expanding Rotary services and carry out large-scale projects which are increasing the effectiveness of international in the Rotary area of focus and help increase Rotary membership development. In the early 19th, the ICC took a significant role helping European Rotaract reach out to Poland, Russia, and Ukraine, which helped reintroduce Rotary to this part of the world. This year, the ICC International Conference and General Assembly was scheduled to take place in Kiev, Ukraine, on this day of April. Obviously, Because of the conflict taking place in Ukraine, the on-site conference has been cancelled, and the ICC Executive Council decided to explore the possibility to move this conference as a virtual event. We are all deeply concerned with the situation in Ukraine, and these situations call for us to stand united in our support for peace and assistance to those who are most severely affected. Therefore, we decided to team up with our Rotaract friends from the European Rotaract Information Center to organize this online event. You will hear from Rotary International leaders and members currently working on and supporting club and district, taking action for direct humanitarian support in the Ukraine region. To co-host this conference, I have the privilege to be with Christian Leitner, the president of Rotaract Europe. Christian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Cyril, and good afternoon to all the participants. Also from my side, thank you very much for spending this afternoon with us. Nowadays, dreaming about peace is really essential, and it's up to us to make this dream come true. Rotaractors and Rotarians across the world, no matter where they are, immediately teamed up when they saw on the news what is going on in Ukraine, and that our Ukrainian friends need our help. And not only our Rotarian friends, but also all Ukrainian, all 44 millions, they are counting on us. Because one thing is for sure, it does not matter where you are in the world. If your friends need help, the family is here. And now today, as Cyril already mentioned, we should have been in Kiev. And this is really heartbreaking which should be an amazing event where we all come together, and now we are forced to sit online. But still, we are still dreaming about peace, and we will make this come true. So I wish you a very inspiring afternoon, and let's hope that our mission will come through and we succeed. And now we are honored to welcome the Rotary International President, Shekhar Mehta. He is the chair of the Scalan Group, a real estate development company which he founded, and he's also the director of the Operation iSign Universal in India, which is also a Canadian-based organization. Mehta pioneered a program that has been performed more than 1,500 life-changing heart surgeries in South Asia. He's also the architect of the TEACH program, which promotes literacy throughout India and has reached thousands of schools.
Hello, my dear fellow Rotarians. I am so happy that the Rotary ICCs and ERIC MDIO have come together for a joint online conference, Dreaming Peace Together, which is support for humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. For 70 years, the Rotary ICCs have been working to bring peace in this world. They have worked trying to bring culture, education, projects and programs together so that there can be peace amongst the people in different countries. In fact, many years back, one of the ICCs which worked in Ukraine, Poland and Russia ensured that Rotary started in these countries. The programs and projects of ICCs have been really wonderful, and there was to be this conference in Ukraine on the 2nd of April, but of course because of the crisis in Ukraine it could not be held. But now that it is being held online, there is now a greater cause, which is the cause that everybody in the world is fighting for, bringing peace in this world and trying to help the people who are affected because of the war in the region. Everybody is trying to do their bit. The Rotaractors, the MDIO, ERIC MDIO is also trying to bring water, food, shelter, etc. wherever possible. The Rotarians across the world are raising money. I'm aware till the last week they had raised $3.2 million. I personally also had a visit to Poland just to see how the situation at ground zero was. I did meet some of the refugees. The world over, the sympathies are with the people of Ukraine. We want the war to stop. Until then, Let us all come together and help out. And for this effort, let me compliment the ICCs and ERIC MDIO, and let me compliment them for the theme itself. All the very best. I'm sure the meet is going to be highly successful. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, President Shekhar, for your message. And now we are pleased to welcome Rotary International President nominee Gordon McInally. A member of the Rotary Club of South Queensferry, Scotland, Gordon McInally is a graduate of dental surgery. He is a Rotary member since 1984 and has been president of Rotary International in Great Britain and Ireland. He has also served Rotary International as a director and as a member or a chair of several RI committees. He will serve as our international president during the year 2023-2024. President McInally, you have the floor.
It's great to be able to join you today at this Inter-Country Committee International Conference and General Assembly. The work of the Inter-Country Committees is such an important part of Rotary in your quest to promote relationships between groups of districts in different countries, and your commitment to working together to promote peace and friendship and strengthen relationships. Of course, I would much rather have been with you in person in Kyiv, but circumstances have dictated that's not to be possible. And so what was to have been a face-to-face event has had to become virtual. I'm sure, like me, you have been horrified by the terrible news regarding the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the ramifications of such an outrage. What has society become that sees frightened, defenseless children cowering in dark corners of a subway station while the horrors of war play out above them? How broken is our world that a children's and maternity hospital can see bombs rain down on it from the sky, with the loss of so many innocent lives, as we saw only a couple of weeks ago in Mariupol. Only recently, we saw a theatre where it was known that children were seeking refuge, targeted with significant loss of life. The word genocide has been used, and I do not believe that to be too strong a description of what we are witnessing. We live in a time of unprecedented technological advances, but sadly, we also live in a time of destruction and human suffering too. And as we are seeing with our own eyes, peace is such a fragile construct. Rotary, with all its global reach, must help the world live together in peace and friendship and love if we're to leave a proper legacy for our children and our children's children. Humanity that has grown up scientifically and technologically now needs to grow up even more by pointing the whole human race beyond the petty divisions of nepotism, race, and creed. Too many people in this world have experienced the atrocities of war and terrorism. But thankfully, we are committed to working for peace. And never forget, peace is more, much more, than the absence of war or armed conflict. Peace is freedom. Peace is healthy children and adults. Peace is clean water and sufficient food. Peace is education, human rights, dignity, clothing, housing, and concern for mankind. But most of all, peace is love. The late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, and I quote, "We must discover the power of love, the redemptive power of love. And when we discover that, we will be able to make of this old world a new world, for love is the only way. End quote. There is power in love. Don't underestimate it. Don't over-sentimentalize it. There is power in love. Power in love to help and heal when nothing else can. Power in love to lift up and liberate when nothing else will. Power in love to show us the way to live. If you don't believe me, just stop. And to use a word we have heard a lot within Rotary just lately, imagine. Imagine a world where love is the way. Imagine homes and families where love is the way. Imagine neighborhoods and communities where love is the way. Imagine businesses and commerce where love is the way. Imagine governments and nations where love is the way. Where love is the way, then no child will go to bed hungry in this world ever again. Where love is the way, justice will flow like a mighty river. Where love is the way, poverty will become history. And when love is the way, there is room, plenty room for everyone. Because when love is the way, when peace is the way, we actually treat each other like we are family. And what better aspirations could we as Rotarians have? What greater hope could we as Rotarians give to this world than a sense of love and peace and family? As I've travelled around on a virtual basis over the past few months, I've often quoted the late US Senator Robert Kennedy, and I make no apologies for doing so again now. Kennedy, whilst addressing the University of Cape Town in South Africa in June 1966, said, and I quote, "Like it or not, we live in interesting times. They are times of danger and uncertainty, but they are also the most creative of any time in the history of mankind. And everyone here will ultimately judge themselves on the effort they have contributed to building a new world society and the extent to which their ideals and goals have shaped that effort." 56 years on from Kennedy's address, in these current times of danger and uncertainty, let us recognise they are also among the most creative of any time in the history of Rotary. Let us make sure we are judged on the effort we have contributed to rebuild our broken world and the extent our combined ideals and goals have shaped that effort as we imagine and then create a more peaceful world, utilising all the many tools in our Rotary toolbox. Dear friends, whilst at times I have shed tears over the situation in Eastern Europe, I have also felt immense pride at the way Rotary has responded. Yet again, as we saw with the tsunami of 2004 and much more recently with the COVID-19 pandemic, Rotary has responded quickly and nimbly. I will never be able to adequately thank those Rotarians in Ukraine and along her borders and in many other parts of the world for the tangible relief they have given over the past few weeks. We have seen aid in so many shapes and forms, mobilised and transported to where it is needed so quickly, showing that we truly are people of action. Make no mistake, the service provided by Rotary has saved lives. I will also never be able to adequately thank those who have so generously and selflessly donated to the Rotary Foundation's Disaster Relief Fund, to allow grants to be made to alleviate the suffering of the millions of refugees displaced from their beloved Ukrainian homeland. Over $4 million has so far been pledged, and grants are already being paid out. To all involved, be assured your commitment is appreciated by me and by all of Rotary's senior leadership. I close by thanking you for your ongoing commitment to Rotary. I wish you health and happiness as you continue to serve in the years ahead, and I look forward to working alongside you. Each and every one of you is a credit to the badge you wear, and I am proud to belong to the same organisation as you. Thank you very much.
And now it's time to welcome our special guests, starting with Irina Bushmina. She is a business etiquette expert, a former country representative of Ukraine within Rotaract Europe, and now she is the district Rotaract representative of the Ukrainian district 2232. And she's also a peace builder. When she left Kiev in the first hours of the war, her phone became her partner on her trip to Vienna. On the road, she helped so many people who were also trying to escape Ukraine, and she put them in contact with our Rotarian family and also organized help for those who stayed in Ukraine. So, dear Irina, welcome on stage.
Hello everyone, my name is Irina Bushmina and I am DRR of District 2232. But what is much more important for me right now is I'm Ukrainian. On the 23rd of February, me and my family had celebration, and after family meeting with around 15 people on the table, I came back home. After we spent around 3 hours with my mom talking and laughing a lot. Around 3 o'clock I went to sleep, actually not directly. I spent some time watching what exactly is in the news. I don't know why exactly I decided to read it. Generally I'm not reading a lot of news, but at that time I decided no. It doesn't matter that I'm laying already in the bed with a turned off light in the darkness. I need to stand up and write in my planner for tomorrow morning that I need to pack 2 suitcases. One for traveling and holiday, because I planned it, and another one for running away from the country, just in case. So I went in the darkness to my room, to my table, and wrote it. Then I went to sleep. And already in 2 hours, at 5 o'clock in the morning on 24th of February, I got a call from my sister, and by the phone she said to me that she's going out from the Kiev, and if I want, I can go with her. Of course I went. In 2 hours, we had been sitting already in the car, me, my sister, her husband, and small child who was 3 months old. And we have been traveling out from the Kiev. It wasn't really easy because of traffic jam, because of small roads. Like, we were really lucky that in one day we were already on the border, and in one day more we crossed the border. Then it took 3 days more to travel to the place where my sister and her child was safe. Unfortunately, all the men had to stay in the country. Unfortunately, difficult to say, because these are people who can protect our country. So me, my sister and the child, only we have been traveling already abroad. So I brought my sister and her child to one safe place in Poland, and then I decided that for me it's much more better to go more far, like to go to the German-speaking country, because I speak German, and for me it's much more comfortable and easier to work from Austria, and there I have a huge team who will support me. We started our projects for Ukraine with the Rotaract from the first day. From the first day of war, the whole world started really to do something for Ukraine. And it was really amazing because it wasn't one or two countries, it were really hundreds of people. And right now I'm working already with more than 100 Rotaractors, including Eric, including Mediterranean countries, like everyone in the world, like all the continents are helping to make projects. We are working with accommodation for Ukrainian, we are working with spreading true information, we are working with medical supplies and fundraising, and all of it created Rotaractors, like created really my friends and my family. Before, like I'm in the Rotaract already 12 years, and the whole time my family, like most of my family, didn't understand what exactly I'm doing and what is generally Rotary. So right now, when the whole this situation happened, I can really say that Rotary is not just people who are doing any social projects. These are people who are supporting each other, who are really big family, and these are people who helped me personally to sleep. During these 6 days when I have been traveling to Vienna, I had to stay anywhere for sleeping, and exactly Rotarians and Rotaractors helped me to stay safe, calm, and they gave me food, like accommodation. So yeah, I'm really happy that I'm part of this wonderful movement. What I really learned during all of these days, actually during this whole last month, actually it was a lot of small points I learned, because so many stuffs happened, and I really could say that I don't want it. I mean, I wouldn't like to learn so many stuffs as I did during these months. 3 of them I can name. 3 the most important maybe for now for me. First is to understand people. Why I'm saying about understand people? Right now you are working with Ukrainians. Please try to understand them. At the first days when we have been trying to find accommodations, people have been writing to me, we will be in 2 hours on the border. So alright, we thought that we will organize everything, but then they have been coming in 1-2 days, and we couldn't do nothing with it. So please try to understand them, try to understand what they are doing and their feelings. Then I need to say that traveling without feeling that you can come back home are not so funny. I had to travel a lot during the last 1 month, and without the feeling that you have safe home is not so amazing as it was a couple of years ago, a couple of months ago. And the last point that I would name right now is, without friends you will not survive. So friends, these are dead people without whom you will not get anything, you will not feel yourself safe, and it's just impossible. So please, please, please help all of the people whom you know and whom you can help. Rotaractors, Rotarians, just friends and Ukrainians. So please, just support them. Support them physically and mentally. And all of these people really need you. And me personally, I also need you. Support us, please. And I'm saying not about Ukraine, I'm saying exactly about Ukrainian people, because supporting them you will help them to save their families and their lives. Thanks.
Thank you, Irina. And now I'm pleased to welcome my old friend, past district governor, Mykolai Stepchenko. I've known Mykolai for more than 25 years. I had the privilege to conduct the charter ceremony of the Rotaract Club of Simferopol, of which Mykolai was a charter member. He now lives in Odessa and serves as the editor of the Rotary magazine in Ukraine and RI Zone Public Image Coordinator. Since the beginning of the crisis, a special committee was put in place to coordinate the humanitarian help coming from Rotary. Mykolai is a contact point for Ukraine. Mykolai, good afternoon. Thank you very much for being with us. My first question will be, how are you and what's your and Rotary situation in Ukraine now?
Good afternoon, Cyril. Good afternoon, dear fellow Rotarians. It's my big pleasure to tell you the situation in Ukraine and what we Rotarians do in this the biggest challenge in the history of our country. Yes, I live in Odessa. Perhaps we are lucky here because there is no big military actions, but each night we have air raid alerts, and we need after that we need to go to the shelters and spend the night there. That's not the normal life. Also, Odessa is a seaport and sea city, and sometimes we have the dangers from military actions from seaside, from a Russian Navy. So that's our life, but in Ukraine we have the city that have a lot of military actions. We have city with the total ruins. You know the story about Mariupol. Also, we have another some kind of this city. Also, we have the heroic defense of city of Kiev, of Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Sumy, and etc. That's the one half of our Ukraine. Another half of Ukraine, the western part of our country, they haven't military actions, but they receive lots of refugees from central and eastern part of Ukraine. So that's our current situation in Ukraine.
Thank you, Mykolai. And now, can you tell us about the kind of relief project currently undertaken by clubs in Ukraine and how the funding and help you are receiving is being used?
From the very beginning of the war in Ukraine, Rotary in our country started the coordination committee. Each member of from 62 Rotary clubs in Ukraine can include to this committee and to be a part of our common activities. Our coordination committee meets twice a day, morning and evening. And each meeting we have discussions about actual problems from our clubs, about needs of our community in their cities. We have two main avenues of service. First, we try to help to our hospitals because you see the news, you see there are lots of civilians who are in the hospitals, and our hospitals need the help of medicines. So our main activity to buy the medicines and to provide for our hospitals. For this, we opened the accounts in our bank. This account has different currencies, and we received the donations from different Rotary clubs, Rotarians, districts from different countries. Until now, we already receive approximately $100,000, and we would like to thank you for all donators, because these funds helped us to provide very neat medicines to our hospitals. Also, the second avenue of service is humanitarian help, humanitarian aid, because lots of Rotarians, clubs and districts would like to send to Ukraine humanitarian help. And we try to receive all this sending and distribute to the cities they need this. We have the network of Rotary hubs. It's in six cities through the border of Ukraine, in cities Rivne, Lviv, Chernivtsi, Uzhgorod, Izmail, and Rakhiv. And also we have the same Rotary hubs from another part of the border in countries Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. So all your humanitarian aid goes to this country, then transfer the border to go to our hubs in Ukrainian cities, and then distribute it to another cities. That's the total information about our work.
Well, thank you very much. And my last questions, what would be the message you would like to share with Rotary and Rotaract clubs around the world?
First of all, I would like to say big thank you to all Rotarians, to all clubs and districts that support us during these difficult times. We feel your support. We appreciate your support, because we feel we are not alone. We feel that we are in one international family. Thank you so much. Also, I would like to tell about a Rotary Disaster Fund that opened by Rotary International. This is the special fund for support Ukraine activities. We already applied for 2 grants and receive funds for medicines, for help to refugees. And I encourage another district from another countries to make donations, and also you can participate as a district in receiving grants and to help to Ukraine. Thank you so much for your support. Slava Ukraini, glory to Ukraine.
Nikolai, thank you very much for having taken some time to be with us today, despite this difficult situation. I was personally very happy to be able to see you today, and please take good care of you and your family.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mikulas, for joining us and for your inspiring words. Now it's time to welcome Alex Omre, Head of International Giving at Shelterbox. After a varied career in relationship management and new business development in corporate sectors, Alex joined the Shelterbox 5 years ago. Supporting our international fundraising team and global partnerships, Alex has traveled globally to further our key partnerships and connect with our global supporter base. He lives on the North Cornish coast in UK with his family, and has just returned from Poland, where he had developed to support Shelterbox response to the Ukrainian crisis. Dear Alex, welcome.
My name's Alex Orme. I'm Head of International Giving for Shelterbox. Thank you for the opportunity to present to the Rotary ICC. I wanted to tell you that 2 weeks ago I was working in Poland as part of Shelterbox's response team. I arrived in Krakow in eastern Poland and I joined the Shelterbox response team there, who had already begun a needs assessment. That's always the first phase of our planning a new response. We're seeing millions of people crossing the border out of Ukraine and into Poland. So the team were based in Krakow alongside partners and other organisations as part of the UN Logistics Cluster organised by the World Food Programme. So Shelterbox's team were based in that city alongside the World Food Programme staff and volunteers, people from other organisations, representatives from HELP, from ACTED, from USAID, and by working together they are able to coordinate the humanitarian response. And this is really important part of harmonising and planning the logistics so that we can get aid as effectively as possible to those who need it most in this desperate situation. I spent a day down at the Ukrainian border at the Przemyśl train station, where we were seeing 10,000 people coming across the border per day. It was really, really disturbing to see so many people who are clearly tired, hungry and emotional, having left family members behind. But it was also interesting to see how the Polish community had stepped up to support these people with hot food, with mobile phones, with somewhere that they could plan their onward journey. The Polish authorities and the community were doing a great job. One of the things that we were able to do as a Shelterbox response team, because of our partnership with Rotary, was connect with the local Rotary community straight away. And I had the privilege of speaking to PDG Janec, who was part of the Rotary Club of Krakow Wawel, and he was able to put us in touch with a local committee of people who are coordinating that Rotary response. And that was essential. Our team always gets a great advantage by being able to connect with Rotarians, because of course when we have this partnership with Rotary, it's invaluable in so many ways. We know that clubs around the world are looking at the partnership as a way, as people of action, to support this crisis. And this was no different. Really, really heartwarming to see how the Rotary community had got behind a coordinated response and doing such a good job. One of the things that I found interesting talking to PDG Janec was the fact that as recently as 2016, the border between the two districts crossed that Ukrainian border. So from the city of Lviv all the way across to the city of Krakow in Poland, that was all part of the same district. So these people were talking with friends and colleagues in Lviv, in Western Ukraine, on how we could best coordinate this humanitarian response. So having been at the border and met people, I was able to inform the needs assessment that the team were doing back in Krakow, but I was also able to really see how that partnership was helping us out. The team, having spent a couple of weeks in Poland, had aid coming across the Polish border into Lviv. And having done that and secured that supply line, they then moved down to Moldova, where we knew there was considerable unmet need. So having arrived in Chisinau, it was great that we could connect them with many influential people. And I want to thank the ICC network for making those connections possible. So the first person I want to recognise is Luminata Gavriluta. Our team were really impressed with Luminata. She made an extraordinary difference and connected us with people, including the Secretary of State, Felicia Bechtold, who is the Minister of Labour and Social Protection. The meeting was facilitated by Luminata's father, Alexandru Robu, who is the Charter President of Rotary Club Chisinau Triumph. And also in that meeting was Svetlana Chubak, who is the member of Rotary E-Club Moldova International. Our team fed back that that was a really important moment in our response. It gave them confidence because they were connected with national government ministers who were able to give them the permission to operate in Moldova. Thanks to the ICC network, we were able to do that literally within days of arriving. Again, all possible through our partnership with Rotary. And as we respond to this once more, we've seen time and again that our connections as part of the international partnership with Rotary are instrumental to an effective and timely response. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you today, and thanks for all the great work that you're doing on this humanitarian response. We really value your help.
Since the beginning of the crisis, many ICCs and Rotaract have taken swift action and are working with members nearby to provide food, water, medical equipment, and shelter for refugees. They have undertaken several projects to help people affected by the crisis and are coordinating contributions and mobilizing local members to help with the refugees, to organize the distribution of international aid on the ground, and to keep the channel of dialogue and peace initiative open. In the next session of our program, and after a brief presentation on ICC and the value of the programs in the response of the Ukraine crisis, we will hear presentation from some ICC and Rotaract leaders who have taken actions. Let's begin with Dana Moldovan, District Governor, District 5240, California, USA, and ICC National Coordinator for the USA, and Claudine Shorey, the Chair of the US Division of the ICC USA Ukraine.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So yes, I am Dana Moldovan. I joined Rotary in 2002. My classification is software engineering. I am the sitting governor right now this year, a challenging year. And I am past General Secretary for the ICC Executive Council in 2018-2020. And I'm, yes, the National Coordinator for United States. And I have here with me my colleague, Claudine. Claudine, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Claudine Scully. I am the president of the ICC USA Ukraine. I joined Rotary in 2014 under classification educator, and I am also ICC USA committee secretary.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about the ICC. So yes, this program is starting to develop right now in United States, and we are very happy about it. And just to recap, yes, an ICC represents a formal framework for strategic long-term relationships. It gives opportunities to Rotarians in both countries to get to know each other, to develop long-term working relationships, and to assist each other with information about respective countries and culture. The ICCs represent a source of knowledge and expertise. And very importantly, ICCs are positioned as ambassadors of peace. How an ICC works, it creates networks of Rotarians and Rotaractors, clubs, districts in two countries, working together at the national level. The ICCs are formed with the approval of the sitting district governors, and they facilitate international home visits, strengthen relationships and friendships, and promote service that transcend club, district, and national borders. You start an ICC by forming two committees, one in each country, and the committees are elected for 3 years. Each committee has a president and minimum 2 members. And the committee role is to meet at least once a year, alternating countries when it's possible. Otherwise, lately, everybody discovered technology in Rotary, and actually, yes, we know how to do Zoom. So actually, it's much easier right now to keep in touch. We evaluate prioritize projects and activities and develop a long-term plan that both parties agree on. And also, we keep a project log. So the ICCs are formed between two countries, and we have examples of countries that they are like in one district together with other countries. So for instance, the district 2241 is covering Romania and Republic of Moldova. So our ICC with United States is only with the country of Romania. And we started this like some time ago, and now we are looking to maybe like start another ICC with the Republic of Moldova. So we are focusing not on the district, but on the country. And this is very important in my mind. And also we have countries that have multiple districts. For instance, France, Germany, Italy, they have multiple districts. And usually when they have an ICC, for instance, ICC France, Romania, all the districts in France are participating. But we have very large countries as United States that has So many districts, 141 districts. This is practically impossible to get all the districts to participate in one program and to get 141 district governors to agree on something. So how we are dealing with the ICCs in US, we start an ICC with several districts that are interested into a long-term relationship with a particular country. And those districts are called the charter districts. Later on, other districts can join if they are interested in that particular ICC. Although the ICC program started in 1950 in Europe between France and Germany, it really crossed the ocean only in 2003, when we had chartered the first ICC with the country of Romania, and it was done in Anaheim, California at the International Assembly. I'm very proud to report that right now we have 11 active ICCs in the United States. Besides Romania, we have France, Russia, Austria, Germany, Lebanon, Mexico, Egypt, India, Honduras, Ukraine, and Spain. And we have a few more ICCs in works. And in fact, Colombia is getting very close to being chartered very soon. And we are working with Sweden, Italy, Turkey, and Israel. In an ICC, you can have different types of relationships. So you can focus on humanitarian projects, on cultural projects, on peace projects. And I wanted to give you some examples. So for instance, with Romania, we have visited many times with teams from United States. We went and visited Romania, and we met with Rotarians, we visited projects. We attended even like Rotary galas over there. And we've seen part of the countries, and we got a chance to understand and experience the culture of Romania, and also, most importantly, build friendships across the world. In this picture, we are at a Rotary gala, and those children that are over there, they came to sing and dance for the gala, but they are part of a program that Rotary is supporting over there, and we participated in this project. These are abandoned children. And also, we provided a container of books for schools, and that was donated to the schools in need in Romania. And right now we are continuing our efforts with a project for Help Hospital to develop the cardiopediatric surgical department. And we are doing this to several global grants. And also we had the Rotarians from Romania visiting, for instance, at the convention back in Los Angeles, and we had joint meetings and so on. And I want to give you another example about another ICC that we have that is focusing on completely different types of projects. So this is the ICC between USA and France, and they are focusing on peace projects. So they just had a positive peace seminar in France, where they brought together French and American students to work on the theme of positive peace. How wonderful it is to really get like college students to get to know each other and to talk about such very important topics. But ICCs prove to be so useful, especially right now when we are dealing with a terrible crisis, the crisis of Ukraine. So the two ICCs, Romania and Ukraine, were really instrumental. When everything started, it was very important that we had those ICCs, because it meant that we have strong relationships with both countries, and we know people over there, and we are connected with people that we can trust. And right away, we started getting in touch and seeing how we can help. So with the Romanians, we discussed right away, and we asked, okay, what can we do from here? So what we are doing, we are raising money in several districts in US, and we are sending the money to the District of Romania because they have an influx of refugees, and Romania is not a rich country and also is not prepared to deal with refugees. So really the non-profit organizations are essential in helping the humanitarian crisis over there. Rotarians got very well organized, so they have like 24/7 shifts at the entry points. There are about 6 entry points from Ukraine, and they are going over there with supplies to help the refugees, and also like assist them with logistics to see where they want to go, how to find transportation, accommodation, and so on. And also, very important, they are getting supplies, loading trucks with first aid supplies, and they are taking them over the border into Ukraine, where they pass all of these supplies to the Rotarians in Ukraine. This is a flyer that we put together in order to pass the information around and to raise the money. And over there in those pictures, there are all sorts of activities that the Rotarians in Romania are doing in order to help with the crisis. So, Claudine, please take over.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you for this presentation. I think it was a great idea to do it together because we are in the same district and we are working very closely. And I can guarantee you that since February 24, we are doing much more than dreaming about peace. Members of inter-country committees are all Rotarian of action. You can see on the chart that the ICC USA Ukraine was created almost 2 years ago. And on the picture taken the day of the ceremony on September 12, you will recognize our Ukrainian partners with their district governor. The immediate reaction to the invasion of Ukraine of our ICC USA Ukraine was to help sending money and supplies to our Ukrainian friends. Through our ICC, we have developed close relationship with clubs in Ukraine and in Romania. We had a first emergency meeting to organize the help among our district partners. And several other districts from the USA joined the conversation. And they were asking, where can we send donations? Where can we help? Individual Rotarians, clubs, and the district started to work together in 3 directions. Sending money by wire transfer directly to Rotarians in Ukraine, friends in whom we have confidence. Sending medication, emergency supplies, food to the border of Ukraine, in Romania and in Poland. Collecting money through fundraising to participating to the Rotary International Disaster Relief Fund. On the slide here, you can see pictures of medication were bought in Kharkiv and Dnipro by Rotarian friends Irina and Olga from the Rotary Club of Kharkiv Multinational. The next slide is a picture of the orphanage in Kharkiv. They were able to help with food, milk, blankets for the people in need, and more emergency supplies for the hospital. At the border of Ukraine and Poland, our Rotarian Vladimir, with the president of ICC Ukraine, Belgium, Luxembourg, was able to pay for gas for refugees to help them continue their trip to Poland. Vladimir is also helping with group of women and children who go through the border with Poland. The lady you see on the next picture are from Kharkiv, and they show their official document that they got to go to Poland. ICC France Ukraine is sending buses to Poland to take the refugees in different regions of France. The help from the USA district, confusing at the beginning, is now getting organized with the Disaster Relief Fund. We have great example of District 7620, Washington, D.C., District 5240, this is our district, District 5280, Los Angeles, and much more who are applying for those disaster relief grants. 2 districts from Texas sent some medical supplies by airplane. with FedEx and medical bridges to Poland. District 5940 from Florida sends supplies to Poland and works with the club of Lviv in Ukraine. I am just a little sad to see that USA is not even mentioned in the last two reports I read from Ukrainian district and Rotary International. As I told you, ICC USA Ukraine is an important committee to connect Rotarian of action. And we are doing more than dreaming. We make peace between Russia and Ukraine a real goal for the future. Thank you.
Rotary Intercountry Committee have been a major factor in the expansion of Rotary in Eastern and Central Europe. The ICC between France and Ukraine had a significant role helping reintroduce Rotary in Ukraine 13 years ago and help Ukrainian Rotarians to expand. Through this ICC, the close relationships between the Rotarians of those two countries has helped carry out many humanitarian projects and have built strong and lasting friendships. Therefore, it is with no surprise that when the crisis began, the ICC France-Ukraine took action immediately to provide and support humanitarian help. To tell you more on what has been done, please welcome to the virtual stage past District Governor Xavier Pacaud, the chairman of the French division of the ICC France-Ukraine. Xavier, you have the floor.
Merci Cyril. Bonjour. Comme l'a cité Cyril Noirtin à l'instant, je me présente, je suis Xavier Pacaud, président du CIP France-Ukraine, comité dont j'ai la charge depuis le troisième trimestre 2021. À l'invitation du gouverneur du district 22-32, Cyril Mania, je me suis rendu en Ukraine à la conférence du district fin mars et début avril 2021. J'ai pu rencontrer tous les clubs rotariens d'Ukraine lors de cette conférence, et principalement ceux de Lviv et de Kiev. J'ai pu constater le travail entrepris par les clubs Rotary de ce district. Ma deuxième visite fut en septembre, 15 jours, pour aller sur le terrain voir les possibilités d'échanges que nous avions entre nos deux pays. Lors de cette deuxième visite, nous avons signé le protocole d'agrément du CIP entre la France et l'Ukraine, entre le gouverneur Volodymyr Bondarenko et François Hulot du district 15-10. Mon dernier déplacement en Ukraine fut le 25 janvier de cette année et jusqu'au 6 février. J'ai été reçu par tous les clubs et principalement ceux de Kharkiv où nous avions échangé sur différents programmes et projets. Hélas, Kharkiv depuis est dans la peine. Dès le début des hostilités en Ukraine, le comité interpays France-Ukraine a commencé à travailler en établissant un plan stratégique d'aide. Nous avons collecté des vêtements, du matériel de soins, d'hygiène, ainsi que des dons financiers. Nous avons mené ces actions à bien. Mais il nous manquait quelque chose de plus fort pour renforcer notre engagement entre le CIP et l'Ukraine. Avec l'aide de certains clubs sartois, le CIP France-Ukraine a affrété un bus pour l'Ukraine. La composition de ce staff était réduite, puisqu'il y avait peu de place à prendre. Nous avons opté pour 2 médecins, un interprète, une logisticienne et moi-même comme coordinateur. Nous sommes partis le 11 mars et revenus le 14. Nous avons emporté le maximum de matériel médical, d'aide en première urgence, médicaments, articles de soins et 3 groupes électrogènes. Notre bus est parti du Mans dans la Sarthe. Notre souci premier était de bien préparer toutes les phases de cette mission. Notre contact se trouvant à Novovolinsk, en Ukraine, nous avons fait notre transfert de matériel, initialement prévu à Chelm, sur le site de Zamorsk, en Pologne, non loin de la frontière. Nous avons transféré le matériel par répartition dans les bus ukrainiens qui partaient pour différentes villes d'Ukraine proches de la frontière. 53 Ukrainiennes et leurs enfants ont trouvé place dans notre bus pour un retour en France. Nous avions auparavant, et cela bien avant le départ, trouver pour chaque famille ukrainienne une famille d'accueil française. Nous avons donc fait des haltes au Mans, à Angers, Nantes, La Baule, sur la côte atlantique, pour placer toutes les familles ukrainiennes. Nous avons aussi constitué un suivi médical et psychologique pour les familles d'accueil et les Ukrainiens qui en feraient le besoin. Nous étions suivis le jour où nous avons fait le transfert avec un autre club de Reims. C'est donc 106 personnes que nous avons aidées à sortir d'Ukraine ce jour-là. Je suis en train de constituer une deuxième équipe pour mener la même opération vers le 11 avril prochain. Lorsqu'on vous posera la question « Pourquoi le Rotary ?», vous avez une réponse toute faite, c'est servir d'abord. Merci de m'avoir écouté. Merci Cyril.
Thank you, Xavier, for this testimonial and for the work done by the ICC France Ukraine to support Ukrainian refugees.
Hello, my name is Gerti Gruber. I'm Assistant Governor of Salzburg South, part of the District 1920 in Austria. Our club is holding with Bernhard Zimburg, the chair of the just new founded ICC Ukraine Austria. So as you see over there, it has been founded on the 5th of November in 2021. And when we started with this agreement, of course, we did not know what would happen soon. So here is the protocol of our agreement. And of course, it has been established and written down that peace is one of the most important things to do that. We're prepared to doing projects on Ukraine, and as Bernhard Zimburg, the chair, is also our incoming president, prepared to have in the next year really the Ukraine theme the whole year round. In January, we had then a visit of the Chancellor in Salzburg of the Ukraine to learn more about problems from Ukraine and Russia, and it was the first time that we get a bit deeper in these subjects. We are already working on a project that children from the eastern Ukraine will come to Austria during the holidays. And we were completely stopped now in this when the war started in February. On the 27th of February, just a few days later, we already were contacting clubs at the border of Slovakia, because our contact, Alfred Praus, in the Ukraine, the chair of the Ukraine ICC, we lost the contact to him and we had no possibility, and we're really worried about that. But we thought we could, maybe the best thing that we can do now is contacting the border and asking what we can do there. And we received all the information from the border, what they need. They're really doing a great job there. And so in a very short time, we prepared the first transport with a lot of parcels to pack, to sort, so that we don't send any waste, but really parcels and packages that will be needed definitely. On the second picture over there, you see me writing the listing on the parcels in German, English, and in Ukrainian language. So I had no idea what I write on it. In the next picture you see our chair, Bernhard Zimburg, helping with this work, organizing these tons of parcels. And then the first transporter went to the Ukrainian border. The fireworks did this work. On the 12th of March and on the 14th of March, the second transporter left. With the second transporter, that was me going there. We had, on the first picture you see, we had pupils coming here, helping to organize the transporter. Then I stopped to another club, to Bad Ischl. They put parcels for first aid to the transporter. In the next picture you see the hub at the Slovakian border, and then the family finally did arrive these parcels. It's from Bad Gastein to go there. It's about 870 kilometers. And it was really great being there to have any idea what to do there, and to have the feeling that, yes, help can be done. In the second transporter, we already had lessons learned. You see there the pictograms for the new parcels. You see me in the second picture together with the club. On the right side, there is the past president of Rotary Kiev Central, who already fled to Košice. And on the third picture, you see the club unloading the parcels. With the next activities, we started then on fundraising. We had a great concert on the mountain to get money for the next projects. And during this time, we worked continuously with the district to find solutions and to make now a working organization with hubs in Austria as well, which is very important, so that not only every transporter has to go that far away, but can be making bundles on big transports. Yeah, and now the next work is carrying on refugees arrived in the area. In my house are already 5 families, so I have a small hotel for the moment. It's possible. We're starting organizing German lessons, and we are hoping that they soon can get back.
Dear friends, good afternoon. My name is Victoria Konrad, and I am the secretary of Rotary E-Club of Moldova International. In the same time, I am the head of section of ICC Moldova Ukraine. We live in very challenging times currently. A very beautiful country, Ukraine, has been attacked, and people from Ukraine are forced to travel abroad, to leave their houses, their homes, their pets sometimes, and they have to start a new life somewhere else. In the same time, we also can see a very good movement of the humanity. We can see how people are helping each other. People are beautiful. People from Ukraine that are running away from war, where do they run? One of the countries where they go is Moldova. As you can see, it is a very small country neighboring Ukraine. And its own population is a little bit less than 3 million people. We are considered the poorest country in Europe, but at the same time, it looks like we have a great heart. This is an image of the refugees at the border. They are met by the volunteers, and they are being distributed to temporary shelters, centers for them. Our country is currently hosting in official temporary centers for placement about 7,000-8,000 refugees. If you look at this image, it shows a little bit of what is the country income. As you can see, Moldova is really the poorest country in Europe according to the GDP per capita. However, when we were planning our response to this humanitarian catastrophe, we were not expecting that we can afford to take so many refugees in the country. According to the statistics, the humanitarian effort by country, refugees per 100,000 inhabitants, it's one of the highest in Moldova. We are small, but we can host a lot. This is how it looks, one of the temporary placements in Chisinau. It is one of the largest. There are several, about 40 centers all over the country. However, we have much more refugees. We were expecting that we can host about 10, maybe 15,000 refugees in the country. That was the plan when we were in the beginning of this event, of the war. But now we have about 100,000 people in the country. More than 350,000 have crossed the border. They are moving to other places, to other countries, to Europe. But more or less, the same amount of people is in the country permanently. So where do they go? They stay in families. Our population is very modest, but they do their best in order to accommodate the people running from war. They take them home, they offer shelter, food, psychological support, and everything that they can in order to make them feel comfortable. What do we do at Rotary? We do everything what we can. We do fundraising, partnership, volunteering. We have received a lot of humanitarian aid from other countries, and we distribute to other Rotary clubs in the country and to temporary placement centers, but also to hosting families. This is an image of humanitarian aid loading from Spain. We have already, only our club, Rotary Club of Moldova International, received 4 trucks with humanitarian aid, food, hygienic supplies, diapers, medicines, everything what is necessary for the refugees. And we distributed them to other Rotary clubs in Moldova. Then we have the direct support to refugees. These humanitarian aids are being distributed to them. And we are also buying warm meals for refugees in temporary placement centers. We also are proud to say that we help the Rotarians from Ukraine who are leaving their countries. This is a beautiful family with 5 children. Alexei from Kharkiv. He left his home, he left everything, he took his family. He was driving about 2 or 3 days because it was dangerous, it was difficult, and he came to Moldova. When he came here, he was accommodated, he was met by friends, he was safe here, and finally he could breathe easier. And now he is in one of the European countries, sending every day messages saying hello and saying how grateful they are for all the support. This is only an example because where the amount of the real help that Moldovans are offering is much greater than that. It's an amazing thing to see how the population is doing everything in order to support the refugees that are leaving Ukraine. Our club raised so far some of the financial support with the support of the ICC collaboration. We have received about 4,000 euro from France, almost 10,000 euro from Netherlands, and from personal donations, more than 2,000 euro. However, the humanitarian aid so far is about 150,000 euro. This is an amazing support offered by all the populations in different countries that are friends with Moldova. Everyone has been motivated to support the refugees, and they support the Moldovan Rotary clubs in order to be able to support other people. This is the Rotary Club Cahul. They have very good relationships with clubs from Romania, and also they are collaborating a lot in order to support the refugees, both in regard with humanitarian aid, volunteering, and so on. This is Rotary Club Soroka in the north of the country, which is hosting many refugees. They have a constant number of about 40 refugees that they have to accommodate and to feed and to offer psychological support, to help find transportation to other countries, and so on. This is Rotary Club Triumph, one of the youngest clubs in Chisinau, but one of the most active. They are very enthusiastic, they are energetic, and they are also working a lot now with this situation to support the refugees that are coming from Ukraine. The Rotary Club Triumph Chisinau is one of the main partners of our clubs, and they are showing a lot of empathy and a lot of love towards the refugees. This is Rotary Club Chisinau. They also receive a lot of humanitarian aid from other countries because of their partnerships and friendships, actually, with other Rotary clubs from Europe. And we are grateful for all the partners and friends that we can collaborate with, and we pray for peace. We pray for Ukraine. Thank you.
Dear President Shekhar Mehta, dear President nominee Gordon McKinley, fellow Rotarians. My name is Florin Mărginean and I am DGE of District 2241. It's a great honor to be able to address you today at your event, and please allow me to extend my greetings on behalf of fellow Rotarians in Romania and Republic of Moldova. We are two countries that have become a very important support for Ukrainians fleeing the war. The shared border with Ukraine spreads for hundreds of kilometers, and many of its citizens, over 500,000, have already crossed the border to Romania and over 300,000 to the Republic of Moldova. Some of them stayed here and were helped by authorities, non-governmental organizations, and private individuals. Others continued their journey to Western Europe to stay with relatives and friends. Since the first day of the war was an extraordinary reaction from the Romanians and the Moldovans living close to the border crossing point. A quick vital help in extreme situation. A rotary mechanism was set in motion just as quickly, which proved to be very useful in situations like this. ICC Germany, Austria, Romania. In just a few days, several trucks loaded with food, hygiene products, and medicines arrived in Romania. The products then reached the cities on the border, and with the help of the Rotary clubs were distributed to refugees. ICC Romania Ukraine is also took action, taking and transporting some of the products across the border into Ukraine. Everything was possible because we already knew each other. We had several well-known contacts, and there was trust. I think it's important that such ICCs be formed between countries that have a certain cultural and social relationship, and which can help each other at key moments. I think everyone now understands the importance of the international partnership between clubs. I would like to take the opportunity to thank you, all of you, for your involvement. What do we want to do next? Medium and long-term aid must continue. Unfortunately, we see that the situation in Ukraine is not clearing up. Peace seems quite far away. Millions of people will need more help. Thanks to ICC Germany, Austria, and Romania, there are funds available to be able to continue the support action. We are even thinking about global grants. I would never have wanted to see a war at the border of our country, but I am proud that we, as Rotary, have been able to help a suffering community. At the same time, my thoughts are on peace, the normal path that should follow now. Thank you.
Not only the inter-country committees took immediately action, because you know what, Cyril? even also the Rotaractors are people of action. I mean, it means Rotary in action. So what did you expect from us? So we were also quite active from the very first minute. And of course, we also teamed up with Rotary. So therefore, I want to invite you to listen to 4 stories of Rotaractors on how they took action from Rotaract Europe itself to Latvia, how the Polish Rotaractor are dealing with the situation at the border, and of course, how the Slovakian Rotaractors teamed up with Rotary and even reconciled a new train line from Slovakia to Ukraine.
Okay, I guess I can start now. So hello, my name is Veronika Bocova. I'm the marketing officer of ERIC for this year. My path in Rotary actually started 13 years ago in Interact, and after that in Rotaract Sofia Vitra in Bulgaria, District 2482. And I'm really happy to be part of this event, and thanks again for the invitation. And here I'm going to speak on behalf of Rotaract Europe and our efforts regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. So I'll start actually with a little story. One thing that was always fascinating me is how global actually Rotary is. And this is the reason that I actually started and wanted to become a member, because of End Polio, and how being such a small person, gathering with like-minded people, you can actually have a really huge impact. And this is something that we've seen in the past month firsthand. One morning, we just hear this devastating news about the conflict that escalated between Ukraine and Russia, and actually the war started in Europe. And yes, everybody was shocked. But yes, as Rotaractors, the first thing we did was actually to contact our friends from Rotary and Rotaract in Ukraine, and to make sure that they're somewhere safe, or to offer our support. The second thing that we did, likewise, was to contact our friends in Russia, who in Rotary and Rotaract, who are also victims in this situation. So we wanted to speak with both sides and start gathering some solutions to how we can help. Of course, the first day, a statement from Rotaract Europe followed, condemning the war and any action supporting it. It became with the message "United for Peace," which became a natural slogan for all of our efforts after that. In the same day as well, the DRR of Ukraine, Irina Bushmina, who already heard speaking before us, she contacted Eric, wishing to help her with accommodation and offering help to other people in Ukraine. And of course, we did that immediately. So from this point, we started working together with Irina and with the CR of Ukraine, Daria Shevsova. We work closely with them and gather information daily. So yeah, after that, what makes me really proud actually personally is how many people joined with messages, with project ideas, developing those projects immediately from the first day. So our task as an information center in the beginning was to gather all of the information, because it was spreading around like crazy. So we wanted to have one simple place where people can actually see all of the data, see what projects are going on in the other countries, how we can offer our support, especially if you're in a country that is not neighboring. We don't really have the grasp of the situation, so we wanted to offer this to our Rotaractors. And that's how we developed the webpage United for Peace on our website, which I'm going to share with you right now. So, on our webpage, rotaracteurope.eu, we gathered all the information that we could collect from different countries, from our CRs, with which we have meetings every single week, just to have the understanding on what's going on currently, because the situation is changing by the minute. So it's really important for us to be up to date. In this page, we try to collect all the information and know the initiatives, how we can support, and also for the people that need help, how they can be supported, like where can they find accommodation, transportation, legal advice, even in the different countries that they go. Also, we started a fundraising, Rotaract Europe Aid to Ukraine, where we want to collect money so we can provide medical, sanitary supplies, food, clothing, shelter, first aid kits things that are going to be needed immediately for the people in Ukraine, but also for the neighboring countries, for example, Poland, Moldova, Romania, Hungary, all the countries that are gathering the refugees right now in huge amounts. They would also need support. And the idea behind this fundraising is to support both sides, with all the supplies that they need immediately and transfer them via Rotaract and Rotary. After that, in the website, you can see also other options to donate, like the global donation from Rotary International, different initiatives from local clubs in the neighboring countries, also in the UN. The idea here is everybody who wants to support in any way, they can support them. So it doesn't really matter how, if you're willing to do it. Here we have also medical support for Ukraine. In this section, we gather information from the local people in Ukraine. Also, you can see here we have contact people for each section, so you know who you can contact and you can provide some supplies if you can. There are also files that are going to be updated all the time, so people have the real overview in the minute. After that, we gathered information for the different countries. You can see here where and how can you support or how you can seek help. This is something that the CRs are constantly updating, so the information is the latest that we can find. After that, you can see different projects from volunteers around the world, not just in Europe, which makes me really proud. So many people are willing to join and help. Then we have some tips and tricks, what you can do to help when you, for example, if you see refugees and you want to transport them from the border, tips how you can do the situation better and how you can help them. Of course, at the end we have some designs that Rotaract Latvia developed for supporting. We have all this information in one place, which is awesome. And also we have really so much things that we want to implement after that. So in the future steps, we want to make a map with the places that you can transfer goods. Like, for example, we want to transfer something to Ukraine, but you don't have the corridor. So you can know that you can make it from Slovakia or from Austria or from different country. A map together with Rotarians is going to be developed on the website, so everybody's aware how they can support. I think for now, this is from our side. We're going to try again to collect all of the information that we can, and from Rotary and from Rotaract, whatever you want to share with us, please do with Rotaract Europe, and we're going to share with everybody in Rotaract. Thank you, and hope we can support more.
My name is Karlis Bankovic. I'm currently country representative of Rotaract Latvia and the incoming Rotaract Europe president. Today I'm going to talk about how Rotaract in Latvia has helped Ukraine in the past month. So I would like to start saying that we promised Rotaractors in Ukraine that every day till the end of these hard times in Ukraine, we are going to support them emotionally by protesting, by raising awareness, by collecting goods, collecting money, and sending them to Ukraine. Personally, I went to Ukraine to deliver medical goods, blankets, also food and water 3 weeks ago. We went there together with 4 Rotaractors and some other volunteers. So together with one of the non-governmental organizations in Latvia, we chose that we really want to help as much as we can. So we went to Ukraine. We raised money for 5 cargo vans. We got them from actually one Rotarian in Latvia and delivered the goods. It was very eye-opening experience, and I would say the most important journey in my life. I had never experienced anything like that personally, and now when this war is in Ukraine, we can really see how each and every of us can contribute and help them. Because before we had some smaller projects, but this is definitely the biggest ever for Rotaractors in Latvia. We are still working with Rotary Riga International and a couple of other Rotary clubs in Riga and in Latvia and also abroad. to cooperate, to fundraise money for these different medicines, for controlled substances, for surgeries like morphine. And yeah, we are fundraising money also from Germany, from Austria, using our connections to contribute. And then using our connections to transport these goods to Ukraine. Also, 2 weeks ago, I went to Rotary President's Conference in Venice. And yeah, I met also Rotary International President there. I had the opportunity to present Rotaract Europe and Rotaract in Latvia contribution in past weeks, how we helped Ukraine. And that was a great experience to share how actively Rotaractors have been involved. And I would say that is the benefit of Rotaractors comparing to Rotarians, that we can act way faster. We are living on social media, and we can adapt to these situations. I would say definitely faster. And yeah, connecting with Rotaractors even outside of Europe, even in Australia, United States, in Brazil, we can adapt and act more flexibly, I would say. And also raising awareness for us is way easier, and organize the supplement, different medical supply and clothes and food gatherings. So yeah, I would say that's been very active month for us, and we're looking to continue. So I hope this crisis will end soon, so we can finish the first phase, actively helping in this crisis situation, and then help rebuilding Ukraine altogether. That's our goal. And for me, as incoming Rotaract Europe president for the next year, we are working definitely on some big projects, fundraising, also going to Ukraine. Hopefully it's going to be possible to do some boots on the ground missions and helping rebuilding Ukraine. So that's all from my side. And yeah, let's have peace in Ukraine.
Hello, my name is Marta Jagoda, and I'm currently CR of Poland. And I'm going to present here some actions and projects we have to support Rotaracts and refugees from Ukraine. So there are many different projects that we are currently running. Many of them are made locally in different cities and are run by Rotaract clubs, but also we have national projects such as coordinating the transportation for people from the border to the cities, and also in cooperation with other Rotary and Rotaract clubs from Europe. So other Rotarians from different countries comes to Poland and picks up some refugees in the bus or even their cars, and are taking refugees to their countries, especially to France and to Portugal. This weekend we will host Rotarians from Dresden, and they will also get involved in our local projects. If it goes about my city, Wrocław, I will start with the place I come from. We coordinate the help for the children and mothers with the chronic disease. Our purpose is to help these people and provide them with the medical help, so they don't have to, of course they have medical help from the government, but they have to get in the line and register and so on. So we are accelerating this procedure. Our Rotary Club is planning to find some doctors from Ukraine that will also help with translation and so on. And we also get invited different clubs, for instance, from US or from Japan to work with us on that. And they actually are responsible for specific people. So they just get, after the project is being conducted, they receive all the invoice, and they can also get in touch with these children and these families, and even meet with them at some point in Poland, or send the package for Christmas and so on. And that's the project that is currently starting this week. We also have a very nice project coordinated by Warsaw Wilanów Rotaract Club. They have rented the whole hostel nearby Warsaw, and they help they allow refugees to stay there for around 1 month, but in the long run they are collecting some funds also to extend this time and help people to start a life here in Poland. What else? So we have also a very nice project that we coordinated before. It's with the food chain shops called Biedronka. We had this project coordinated by Ania Grzywacz from Warsaw Club, which allows us to take the food that is going to expire in a few days and bring it to the people that need it. And since the war began in Ukraine, we actually signed 10 new agreements with different organizations and different shops. I'm coordinating also one of these projects here in Wrocław, and we will provide food every day for 60 people that are staying in Baptistic Church here in Wrocław, to make you more aware of amounts that we are talking. So the food that we are currently taking from this food shops, it's around 100,000 euro monthly. I could tell more and more, but I don't want to take too much of your time. If anyone wants to know something more or get involved in our projects, please reach out to me. And thank you so much. And I hope to get more messages from you regarding the help for Ukraine.
Good afternoon, dear Rotarian friends. My name is Monika Kuciova. I'm the spokesperson of District 2240, Czech and Slovak Republics. I'm also part of the Committee for International Aid of our district, and I'm a member of Rotary Club Košice, which is the first biggest city in Slovakia, bordering Ukraine. And I'm also the Assistant Rotary Coordinator of Zone 21A. It is my huge privilege to be talking to you today, and it is a great honor to talk about all the initiatives that we do have currently in Slovakia, and well, also in cooperation with Czech Republic, of course. We, as the committees, we have established 5 committees actually in our district since the beginning of the war. And each of the committees is dealing specifically with what is necessary. The main coordinating team is based here in Košice. So we have different lines of work. First of all, what we started doing at the beginning was a train going from Czech Republic to Ukraine, bringing humanitarian aid inside of Ukraine to the city called Chop, and taking refugees back to Czech Republic. Well, overall, the train was going for, I believe, 9 days. We brought more than 170 tons of humanitarian aid, and took, I believe, 2,600 people to Czech Republic. This initiative is not working at the moment. It was stopped but there were the different other, we opened the road and different other railway companies are now operating the route. Second, what we are doing is receiving basically help from other districts and from all around the Europe, and then putting it on trailers, big trucks, sending it to our partners in Ukraine. Basically, our partners are other Rotary clubs, and well, what I would like to mention is the third, the huge initiative that we have. We opened a broad gauge railway connection, or well, road, taking also massive humanitarian aid into the inland Ukraine of food, hygiene, medical supplies, and everything that is necessary. That is very special because it is not very easy to take the humanitarian aid into the inland Ukraine. So we are sending the trains to Kharkov and Kiev, etc., wherever necessary. We have a very active medical committee, very proud to cooperate with all of the other districts and the International Fellowship of Medical Fellowship of Rotary International. And well, of course, we're also helping at the borders with the refugees, with helping with the accommodation, transportation, and everything basically that is in our power that we can do. So if you need more information, you can follow us, of course, on Facebook, get in touch with us, or learn more from Rotary International website. We thank you all for your kind help. We are getting a lot of support from all around the world, and well, we pray that the situation will get better soon. Thank you. I'm sending you all of my best regards and of our district, and I wish you to have a nice rest of the conference.
And now it's time for the closing remarks. Dear Katerina Kotsali-Papadimitriou, she is a Rotary International Director of the Zone 21 and Zone 22 for the Rotarian years 2020 until 2022. She is coordinating the Special Rotary Committee to oversee Rotary humanitarian help in Ukraine. She earned her architectural degree from the School of Architecture in Paris and holds a doctorate in human geography. She has served Rotary in many roles, including as a member of the Rotary Foundation, cadre of technical advisors, Rotary Public Image Director, and Rotary President's Representative. Dear Katerina, welcome on stage.
ICC Executive Council Chair Cyril, President of Rotaract Europe MDIO Christian, fellow Rotarians and Rotaractors, thank you for inviting me to participate in the Dreaming Peace Together Support for Humanitarian Crisis in Ukraine online event. The war in Ukraine led to a humanitarian catastrophe, the consequences of which are difficult to estimate. The response of Rotary and of all our networking groups to the crisis has been immediate and substantial. The mobilization also of all the affiliated to Rotary initiatives is a splendid example of the power of the Rotary network and the partnerships in action. As the conflict continues, we expect the needs of the people of Ukraine and of those who escape from the nightmare and reach the bordering countries to constantly increase. As a humanitarian organization, Rotary is deeply concerned by the tragic loss of lives of properties and the devastating consequences of war. All information about Rotary response can be found in the one-stop webpage concerning the Ukraine crisis in our website, rotary.org. The Board of Trustees immediately has designated the Disaster Response Fund as the official channel for Rotary members and other donors around the world to contribute funds to support relief efforts undertaken by Rotary districts or clubs. Only the Ukraine district and districts in the bordering countries can apply for disaster response grants of $50,000 each. They can apply for more than one grant if the first one has been already accomplished. Any district which receives a significant number of refugees may apply for a disaster response grant of $25,000. As per 25th of March, the fund has received more than $5.6 million in contributions. It's an amazing amount. These funds are being distributed to Rotary districts that apply for disaster response grants and will be used to provide relief to the refugees or other victims of the war and alleviate the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, offering, water, food, medicine, clothing, and many other items. District can also contribute using their district designated funds. For those who prefer to donate in kind, we recommend sending the supplies to the humanitarian hubs that Rotary has created in bordering countries. For the moment, do not send goods directly to Ukraine. This is really a friendly advice. From the humanitarian hubs, Rotarians from Ukraine supervise and distribute, the supplies to the institutions and other, places in Ukraine. We have created a detailed list of relief efforts and relevant contact information to offer assistance on how to engage with Rotary clubs and districts, how to apply for a grant, find contacts for hosting refugees, and contact other Rotarians to support local efforts. You can directly support those projects, and you may download this list from our webpage. Rotarians and Rotaractors from around the world are collaborating with members nearby to provide information, transportation, medical equipment, and shelter for refugees. We strongly encourage you to post your actions and projects on Rotary Showcase. There is a special link for that. Also, on social media, blogs, and web pages. Please also share with the PR staff in the Europe Africa office in Europe. Dear friends, I want to express my deepest appreciations for all the considerable arduous work you are doing around the region and the people of Ukraine. It is phenomenal to see outstanding projects being conducted, helping and supporting those in need. I'm proud to see that we join efforts and coordinate in such an organized and structured way and react to respond rapidly. Every contribution, even the smallest one, is welcome, and together we're making the difference. Dear friends, don't hesitate to contact me anytime if you need further information or any kind of assistance. Thank you for your commitment and your dedication. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Katarina, for having taken the time to be with us this afternoon. I always been convinced that our ultimate goal in Rotary is the creation of more peaceful and resilient societies. As people of action, we inspire others through our service to community and to humanity. At this time, with the global pandemic, economic downturn, threat to world peace, and the sustainability of our environment, our work to achieve a more peaceful world is more important than ever. This is why we would like to encourage you to consider attending the World International Presidential Conference, Serve to Bring Peace, which will take place just before the RI Convention in Houston this June. To tell you more, I'm pleased to welcome ICC National Coordinator for Argentina and past our Vice President, Celia Cruz de GI, the Chair of the Peace Conference. Celia, you have the floor.
My dear friends in Rotary, peace has always held a unique status in Rotary. As Rotarians, Rotaractors, Rotary Peace Fellows, and members of the Rotary family, we approach peace not as an ideal concept, but as a dynamic expression of human development. It is both a cornerstone of our mission as a humanitarian service organization, and it is one of our 7 areas of focus, one of the main ways in which our members make their mark in the world. And yet, as amazing as our peace programs are, peace building is a part of everything that we do in Rotary. It is an integral part of our polio and disease eradication programs, our WASH programs, our climate initiative, as well as our work on basic education and literacy. When we strive to reduce gender disparity in education, we are peace builders. When we expand access to quality care so mothers and their children can live and grow stronger, we are peace builders. When we enhance economic and community development and create opportunities for decent and productive work for both young and old, we are peace builders. When our districts and clubs directly support humanitarian efforts, we are peace builders. Last year, the Rotary International President Shekhar Mehta reached out to me and asked if I would host a pre-convention peace conference at the Rotary International Convention in Houston on June 3rd and 4th. But this was to be a different kind of peace conference. The Houston Rotary Presidential Conference, Serve to Bring Peace, will aim to showcase how everything we do in Rotary goes on to create more peaceful and resilient societies. This event will focus on Rotary's 7 areas of focus and how each one of them supports the 8 pillars of positive peace. This conference will also act as a capstone event to the 6th Presidential Conference taking place around the world this Rotary year under the leadership of President Shekhar Mehta. The event will be the perfect opportunity to network with the wider Rotary peace building community, to hear what others are doing around the globe to create peace, and to be inspired to take action. It will be an opportunity to come together, to meet friends all anew, and to renew our commitment as peace builders. We will have outstanding speakers at our conference, as Sang Srikantam, the CEO of Shelterbox, Rotary's project partner for disaster response, and one of the key partners in the peace area. Asim Kamisa, founder of the Tariq Kamisa Foundation, an organization that he founded after the death of his son. And Asim will talk about forgiveness and stopping the cycle of violence in our communities today. Through some really interesting breakout sessions, the conference will also tackle some of the most important issues of our time, from the empowerment of girls, polarization in our communities, forced migration and human trafficking, and climate change and the challenges to peace. This conference will have a special focus on the Rotary Peace Fellowship Program and its impact and achievement today, given the fact that this year, 2022, will also mark two important anniversaries: the 20th anniversary of the first cohort of Rotary Peace Fellows and the 25th anniversary of the 1997 Rotary International Convention in Glasgow, where my late husband, past Rotary International President Luis Vicente Chiai, together with the chairman of the foundation, at that time, past Rotary International President Rajendra Sabu, announced the creation of the Rotary Centers for International Studies. So, my friends, I invite you to register for this exciting, important, and historic peace event. And I hope to see you in June 3rd and 4th at the Houston Rotary Presidential Conference, Serve to Bring Peace.
Free. What a conference. I think we both can agree here that it was really inspiring, and it's amazing how quick and how dedicating our Rotarian family acted when it comes to the point that someone needs our help. I think this conference truly proved that it is important to dream about peace, and that we also are also guaranteed that this dream come true. Thank you very much from my side. It was a real pleasure to welcome you on this online event, even though it would have been much more fun to welcome you in Kiev, but I think we will make this up. Don't we, Cyril?
Yes, yes. And now this conference is coming to an end. So let me thank all the speakers and all the persons who have participated in the organization of the event. A special thanks to our technical and marketing team, Astrid, Pauline, Minan, and Frank. But I can't conclude this conference without a thought for our Ukrainian friends. As I told you in the beginning of the meeting, the International ICC Conference should have taken place in Kiev. I have the privilege to work closely the past 2 years with the Ukrainian Rotarians. They made a fantastic job, and it would have been an outstanding Rotary event. I want to say big thanks for Pavlo Kavskadamo, a member of the organizing committee, Vera Sirimina, the ICC National Coordinator for Ukraine, Volodymyr Burdarenko, the District Governor, District 2232 Ukraine, and last but not least, a great thanks to Sergei Zavadsky, the chairman of the conference. In Rotary, we say we are people of action, but we are also people of hope. I know that in the future, peace will be back, and we will host a Rotary event in Kiev, and I will be there. Thank you, Christian, for this joint conference. It has been a pleasure to work again with Eric and to see how dynamic our Rotaract Europe. You made us very proud to be in the same Rotary family. Thank you again, all of you, for attending this event, and let's dream peace together.